Hello, my name's Carrie. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate if you are just new and stopping by, or if you are a return viewer. Thank you so much. This is my channel where I get to share all the creative and crafty things that I am doing, and progress and finished objects and all that kind of stuff. So thank you so much for being here. I will post any links to anything I talk about, whether it's patterns or websites or anything like that, will be in the show notes below the video on YouTube. And that's it. Today's August 8th, 2019, and it's cloudy today. Warm but cloudy, a little bit humid, but it at least cooled down for a little bit. So I have some new things to share with you. I got my little spinning wheel finally, and I want to share with you my thoughts on that and how that's going. Not a ton of knitting because I've been working on one specific project, but I've got some painting as well. So sit back. It's going to be a quick one, but I just wanted to share because I've got Violet in daycare today for half a day. And so she's there for a couple more hours. I decided to bring her to daycare. We have a great little facility that's only about 10 minutes or so from my house, and she can go for half a day and just play. She really just needed to play and run around with other dogs, and I want to make sure she stays socialized in that way. And she plays with my son's dog Vladimir, and they play really well together, but I want her to be more well-rounded, and so taking her there not only tires her out, but it really fulfills her need to run around and just stimulate her in a different way that I can do. I mean, I take her for nice long walks, let her run around, do training, but she needs to just be running around and being a dog with other dogs. So she's at daycare today, just for part of the day. So I thought I'd take the opportunity to record a little bit. One thing that's going to be happening that another reason why I kind of wanted to do an episode today is because I'm going to be redoing my studio here. I decided to move my long arm out of here. I don't use it very often. I had talked about wanting to start long arming again. And then with Violet, I just don't see that that's going to happen. And then I'm going to start back to work again here when school starts. And I just am not going to have time to do it for customers. I will still do my own quilts, but that is pretty few and far between. So I don't want to be taking up this great space that I have up here. I have wonderful lighting in here, and I love being in this room. So I want to set up an area where my long arm is to be able to do painting and other crafts. We have another area in our house that's just a loft area that I've been doing my yarn stuff and any kind of painting and whatever, but I just really don't like working up there in that space. The lighting's not fantastic. It doesn't look out into anything, it's not inspiring for me. So I decided to move my long arm out, put it in the loft area, move my yarny stuff, get a better craft table situation set up, better storage, and do all that kind of stuff, and put it in here where I've got great lighting and just kind of keep all my stuff together that way. And then I'll still have an area to do my long arming when I do want to do a quilt, and it'll be set up over there. So that's a big job because taking this down, Jim's got to take it down to a point where we can move it, and it's super heavy. The machine's heavy-ish, but that's not a big deal. It's the frame system. It's all steel, and he can take it down to a point, but then you have to move this 12-foot long steel frame thing through the door and over there, and it's like 400 pounds and super heavy. So we will enlist the help of our very strong son. And Robert will come over, Michael will help where he can, and we'll get this thing moved. So then I thought, well, while I'm doing all of that, I need to repaint. I've been wanting to repaint in here for a while. I've had this color, which I love, but it's been like this for over 12 years. So it's time for a change. So that's got me going, oh my gosh, what a huge project. Because I've got to take everything out. Not everything out, but at least to a point, like I got to take all my books off the bookshelf, put them in a box or something so that I can move the bookshelf. And it's all my quilting books and stuff like that. And I'm probably going to donate some of those books to some friends of mine. Just bought a long arm, and a couple of them are pretty new at it. And I thought, I don't use these books anymore. I've gotten to a point where I know what I want to do, and So I think I might donate some of those books to them. But I still have books on making quilts, like with patterns and stuff. And so I'll keep all that stuff, just kind of move things around. But you know, when you're set up in a space for 12 years, you get things in little nooks and crannies, and you just acquire more stuff, which I hate, but it's not stuff I can get rid of. It's like projects that are kind of in the works, and a new tool that you got. Well, it's like I use that, but now it needs a place, and there's all those little things that I have to pack up and put away for a little while so that I can paint. So this is all going to start getting dismantled. I may even start today, maybe not, because I'll probably edit this video, but yeah, just start kind of putting stuff away so that I can paint in here. I'm going to do it a soft gray color. I want to brighten it up a little bit and have a more neutral color in here and just kind of change things around. So my sewing space, which is right now right in front of me, that's going to stay the same. That works really efficiently for me. I've got lighting set up to work great. I'm right in front of a window, and that's going to work great. So really the only place that's going to change is what's behind me where my long arm is, and anything long arm related will get moved out. And then try and figure out where to set stuff up. I do have a couple of knitting machines. I do want to get back to using those. I think Violet's getting to the age where I can possibly do that a little bit more. And then I can have that all just set up in here, and this is just a nicer space for me. So that's going to be coming up. It's going to take me a while because I know my time is, I have to do things in short spurts of time because of Violet needing to be played with or walked or whatever, and I'm working. She may go to daycare more often. I don't know. We'll have to just kind of see. But yeah, so to get this done is going to be a job. I can do things more on the weekend when Jim's around, so he can help manage a puppy to make sure she's not getting into paint or whatever. So she's very sweet, but she's very active and needs a lot of attention. So anyway, that's kind of coming up here. And I know once I get started, then it'll start to go. It's just a matter of like, where do you start? So I think I'm going to start with a bookshelf. I can paint around my long arm being in here because I can slide it out of the way a little bit. So I may start painting before we even move that out. Because I've got stuff in the loft area that's going to come in here, and I don't know where to put that stuff to put the long, it's going to be kind of a coordination of events that's going to have to happen. But I think once I get started, it'll just start going. So anyway, that's going to be kind of coming up. So my episodes may be fewer and farther between because there's not much going to be able to be shown when I'm doing that. So that's in the future. What's happening in the present? We didn't end up going camping this last time we were supposed to because our truck broke down. So truck is fixed. Our truck is 20 years old, and it keeps on going, and we keep fixing it when it needs to be fixed because it's cheaper than buying a new truck. So it ended up keeping us from going camping. But we've got a camping trip in like a couple weeks-ish, week and a half or something. So that'll be kind of the last one of the summer. And then it goes back to school. I've got like 3 weeks before I go back to school. So got to try and make the most of it. It's been a great summer so far though. So my big news is I got my electric spinning wheel. I had talked about this before, just in the last few episodes, that I participated in a Kickstarter for a very mini Nano electric spinning wheel. And it came the other day. And here it is. It's so tiny, but it works great. I mean, I don't know any different because this is the only time I've spun on a machine. I have tried to spin with spindles, and I find it too cumbersome, or I don't know. I just couldn't ever seem like I could get, it just was fiddled. I don't know. For some reason, it just wasn't working for me. And I thought, okay, I want to try a spinning wheel, which regular spinning wheels are pretty expensive. Got turned on to this Kickstarter from somebody at Knit Night, and I'm like, oh, let me try it. It was a great experience. I've never done a Kickstarter before, but this is from Dreaming Robots, which is Maurice Ribble, I think is his name, and he was very good about communication, kept us updated on everything that was going on, got things shipped out. It's a great little machine. It runs on electricity, so I can plug it in, or I can, I have a battery pack that runs on a USB that runs it, and that's what I've been using, because then I like last night after dinner I was just sitting out on the back patio just spinning, and I spun this spindle last night. So it's getting better. It's getting thinner or more consistent. It's just for me right now, it's a matter of learning how to draft the fleece so that it comes off of the thing. When you have this thing, I don't know what this is called, rope. I'm going to call it a rope of fleece. So when you're pulling it off of this, to pull it off evenly, and I was getting into a really good rhythm last night, and I know that the different fleeces will pull off and draft differently based on the staple length, the length of the fiber. But I was getting the hang of it a little bit better last night, and so I know every time I try it, I will improve or find something, a different way of doing things or whatever. So my only drawback that I can see at this point, and I knew it would be something that would maybe be an issue, is that these are small bobbins because it's a small little machine, so it can only hold so much fleece. Supposedly it can hold 2 ounces, so that would be like a half a skein of yarn, 2 ounces, if you're doing like 100 gram skein, so that's not bad. So in order to be able to ply 2 ounces, I only can do like 1 ounce on 2 different bobbins and then ply them. So I don't know how much I have on here because I didn't weigh it. I mean, I don't know how much this weighs. It feels like it weighs nothing. So I might try plying. I need to figure out a way. I don't have a Lazy Kate, which is a way to put your bobbins on. So you have your 2 bobbins stuck on something, and then you unroll your fleece or your yarn. I guess now it's yarn. Look, that was my first bobbin of this. Is that going to focus? I don't think it's focusing. I don't know why. I don't know whose fleece this is. This is some fleece I picked up at a fiber show that we went to down in Eugene, and we took the train. Black Sheep Fiber Festival or something like that. Anyway, a couple years ago, and I got it because I wanted to try spindle spinning, and so I don't have the tag or the information, but and I don't even know what kind of yarn or fleece it is. I just remember telling the lady I'm new, what should I spin with? And she recommended this, so of course I had to pick purples, and then I got a purple spinning wheel because I had a choice of this or charcoal gray, and I really was like, oh, do I do it? Am I going to like it being purple? Is that going to interfere with, like, feel like weird with the colors I spin? But I thought, you know what, any color I spin is going to be colors that I like, which will go with purple. So I'm glad I did. I got purple, and all my bobbins are purple. I got 7 bobbins with it. These are now available to pre-order. He's still shipping out the Kickstarters because he had a really good response to it, and he's almost done shipping out all the Kickstarters, and then he'll be able to start shipping out just orders. So you can get these. I think he's listing them for like $115 or something. So really inexpensive, very portable and easy to use. I mean, as far as like, I've never spun on a wheel before. I did have some fleece that I had gotten. I had bought a spindle, and it was just like a cheapo thing to just see if I liked spindling. It was like $15 on Etsy, and they sent me this bag of fleece to use with it. I don't know anything about it. There was no tag or anything. I could not get that to spin on here. It just wouldn't feed through. So whatever the fiber is, I don't know, but it was giving me all kinds of fits. And I thought, well, I'll use that because, you know, that's like nothing I care about. I didn't purchase it necessarily, but it was making it so difficult for me to learn it that I just had to finally just give up and actually use some fleece that I like. So it's working out. I think I might try and ply this, but like I said, I don't know how much is on it, because under here is some other fleece that I had that somebody at Knit Night gave me to just practice with. So it's just like random bits that I was doing, and that's underneath this. So this isn't even all that color. So I don't know what I'm going to do. May keep spinning on this and make that full. I don't know. But it's fun. It's nice that I can just sit outside and do it. It's quiet, and it runs off a battery, so I can take it wherever. So super happy with that. that's that. Oh, and then I got this box, this train case that I got on Amazon, and it fits in here perfectly. So this is meant for like makeup or something, I think. So, because I think you're supposed to put makeup brushes in there. But it fits in here perfectly with a couple of bobbins and some fleece, and I'm good to go. And look at how cute this is, because it all matches. So that was a good buy. I got that. Robert had given me a gift card to Amazon, so he bought me that and the battery pack. So little did he know that I needed that. So, you know, when you get a spinning wheel, you need fleece. Now, I have purchased fleece. I have some. And then some people will put things on sale, and I think I need more fleece because they're pretty. And so Nanette of Nanette Wakes put on a sale on her website. This is the most beautiful purple. Right now in my screen of my camera, it looks blue, but it is really just a beautiful purple, kind of like a delphinium. So I've got that. This is 9.5 macro merino called Blueberries. And then I got this one, which is like a raspberry color, and it's Falkland, and the colorway is Rojo, which is red. But it's got some purpley colors. But look at the same weight, but look how much fluffier this is. So this is Falkland. I had to look that up because I wasn't sure what it was, and I knew I didn't have any, and I thought I want to try spinning different fibers so that I know what I prefer. And it is out of the Falkland Islands, but it's a combination of Corriedale, and there's like 3 different kinds of sheep that it's like a cross of or something. It's supposed to have a really long staple length, and it's real soft. So I'm going to spin this up. I don't know, when you spin, and maybe some of you that do spin can kind of chime in here. Do you spin like always the same weight? Like right now I'm spinning pretty thin because I want to apply it and make a fingering weight yarn. I don't know why, that's just what I have in my head. Or do you spin knowing like I'm going to make this worsted weight, and I don't know. How do you know what you're going to spin it as? Or do you just spin it as whatever it spins as, and then you find a project to go with it? I'm not sure, because I think I need to try and spin maybe thicker, so not everything's fingering weight. But then I think, what am I going to make with it? I don't know what I'm going to make with any of it. I'm just enjoying making it. Just like anything else, it's the process of making it for me. I don't really care what happens afterwards. It's the process of making it. So if you have any tips, or if there's somebody that I need to go watch on YouTube, and I've been kind of looking on YouTube to just get an idea of how to draft and how to do basic things, I now need to look and see how to ply, because I don't know how to do that. But yeah, if there's any direction you can give me on that, I love learning new things, and so now I'm learning spinning on a spinning wheel. I can see if I stick with this, which I feel like I will. Now I get fluff. Is getting a bigger wheel of some sort, whether it's electric or foot pedal or whatever, to have bigger bobbins so that you can spin bigger amounts. But right now this is working. This is working really good. So those were my 2 things. I'll put Nanette's website down below in the description box. Another project I was really wanting in my head, I kept visualizing a pour painting that I wanted to do, and I've talked about pour painting that I've tried in the past. And if you look on YouTube, there's all kinds of videos, and there's a lot out there. If you just look up pour painting, and you take acrylic paint, I just use craft acrylic paint, and you add stuff to it to make it fluidy, more fluid and a good texture, and then you layer things in a cup and you pour it, and you don't really know what's going to happen. Anyway, I had this idea of I wonder if I could kind of direct the pour and make a tree. And then I was like, then I could put a couple little flowers. So I pulled out the paint that I had. A lot of the paint that I had to do this with was paint that my mom gave me. She cleaned out her craft cupboard, and because she used to craft all the time, and now she can't do it because her hands are so arthritic she can't craft anymore. So she's like, here, take all my paints. And so I have all these paints. Well, a lot of them are really old, and they're just thick. So I have this idea. I want to do this tree, and Violet's sleeping, and let's just do it. And that's what happens is I get like this idea, and then I just have to do it. So I start digging through. I need all these different shades of brown to layer, and I didn't take the time to, what you would normally do is take a color, mix in some medium to thin it or whatever, and then mix each color, and then you layer those colors. I didn't do that. I'm like, yeah, this bottle seems liquidy enough, and poured that in and poured this in, and some of them were chunky. I threw out a ton of them, and add a little bit of water, and like, well, we're gonna call it good to do this tree. Here's some reds. We'll do some flowers, some green for the leaves on the tree, and just really just didn't think a whole lot about it. Didn't super plan for it or anything like that. And so I made this. So I love the tree. I love the tree. I love the way it came out. And then I was trying to do like blops for flowers here, and then it all kind of ran together, and then it dripped right there and there. And I was like, okay, well, now I'm going to have a really tall flower because I got to do something with this red blop that's in the middle. I don't know if you can see, the tree's got some dimension because it's kind of thick. Like this, can you see that? That's like dried paint that was in the bottle. Like I was pulling out like chunky stuff that was in the bottle. It was really just sort of whatever. And with the idea that I like, okay, I'm going to try and see if this is even doable, and then I'll just throw it away if I don't like it. But I do kind of, I like the tree, the flowers, like this whole part here shouldn't just be red. I mean, it's like, what, they bleed on the ground, or what's the deal? So I did some green to try and make it grassy, and it's okay. But it's like, okay, not what I was going for. See how the tree's got some neat dimension. So when I'm done, when I've decided to be done with it, I'll put a clear coat on it. I don't know if you'll lose some of that dimension, but it just helps to protect it. And then just like anything, once it dries, it kind of dulls, but then when you get it wet, it brightens up. And when you put a clear coat on something like this, it does brighten up the paint again. And so I'll do some sort of clear coat on it. This is just a 12 by 12 canvas. I put thumbtacks on the bottom so that when it sits on the table, it's raised so things can drip off the edge, so all your edges are covered. So that was just my quick, like, let's just see if I can do this kind of a thing. It also got me on the bandwagon of redoing this studio space, because I was doing this out in the loft, which with not so good lighting, and then I'm like putting a vinyl tablecloth on the floors in case I drip, and it was like, I need something different. Now in here, I do have carpet, and I would love to pull the carpet up and put a laminate floor, but we don't have the funds for that. So I'm going to still do carpet, but under my area where I'll have like my painting desk or craft desk, Jim's going to do something so that it's not just carpet right under there. So anyway, that's what started the whole thing, was doing this silly painting. So I do want to try it again. I need to get some new paints so that I have like good paint that's not dried up and gross. Because some of it, you're like, okay, this is shaking pretty good, but it's so separated that all you're shaking is like the, I don't know, whatever it is, the drying ingredient, whatever the liquidy stuff that separates. So I threw away a lot of paint. Anyway, pour painting a tree. My idea originally was to do a tree, and then I wanted like do a dot paint of a dog or something. So this turned into more of a garden. So I'm still going to try and do something different. Anyway, there's my little pour painting. And then I have been knitting some. So I had talked about before, like I've been really enjoying putting 2 strands of fingering weight yarn together and just knitting whatever. It kind of makes like a DK to a worsted weight depending on the yarn. So I put 2 strands together, and I'm making a chemo hat. I'm almost done. I'm doing the decreases on the crown. So just a basic beanie, basic beanie. And it is, got extra needles in here, these 2. So I'm almost done with this one. Leftover from my Find Your Fade, and this was part of a sweater that I did. So I figure I only need like 40-ish grams per ball left over, put them together, and it just made like a nice little hat. So I'm making this fairly small because I think because of the colors, it'd be probably more of a younger person's hat. So anyway, doing that. That was a good kind of mental break from my brioche project that I'm doing. I haven't done socks in a long time. I was just talking about this with my friends yesterday. I haven't done a sock in a really long time, and that used to be my like go-to mental break kind of thing. And I have 2 socks that are single socks, and so I really need to do the pair. I just have not felt it. And that used to be like the only thing I'd ever knit. And we just like, socks were great because it was, I knew the pattern, you just do your thing. And I haven't gotten back to it. I need to so that I can get the seconds of my socks, because I like wearing the socks. I just don't like knitting them so much. Not right now. So the brioche project, oh my gosh, I'm almost done, but it has been the only thing I've worked on. I haven't worked on my sweater. I just need to do ribbing and sleeves, but I honestly have not touched it. I'm really close to being finished. It's getting quite big. I'm not really sure. I don't want to lose any stitches because that would make me really mad. But it's huge. It's huge. Let me hold that so you can see the brioche. Very cool design. It's called Willow Moon. There's the back side. I love how that green turned out. I do have a lifeline in right here. If you see that kind of a line going across, that's a lifeline. I'm on like the end section where I'm decreasing, and then I have to do an I-cord bind off, and then somehow you're putting it together. So right now it just feels really big, but I actually think it's going to go like this. So it's turning out quite large. So I know I was supposed to take gauge and I didn't. So mine just might be turning out really big. Which, that's fine. I wasn't ever thinking I was ever going to wear it because this is just too thick and bulky for me. But it was fun to do it. I'm glad that I did it, and I did it as a test knit because it made me continue going. Because if you remember, I was just like down way down here last time I showed it. Like I barely got started, and it took me an entire day to do like 3 inches. Well, I started just, I don't know what changed. I started to understand it, or I could tell when I would do things wrong. One thing that helped is to put stitch markers in between the repeats. You're only doing like shaping stuff once every 6 rows or something. And so I didn't think to put the markers in because I thought, well, then they're just in the way when you're doing like your basic stuff. But it really helped. It really helped because then I knew that I needed to finish. I needed to be at whatever stitch before I got to the marker. And if I was off, then I knew I was only off in this section instead of taking out an entire row. So that helped things go by a little bit faster. I did put in lifelines as I moved up, and I never had to use them. So I like probably don't need the lifeline that's in there, but I'm feeling like you're so close to the end. What if that's when you drop the stitch and then you're like, I just took my lifeline out. So I could put in another one, but I've got it there. Although I wouldn't want to go all the way back to that, but I would if I had to. So anyway, that is almost done, and then I will put it together and block it and make my notes. And very well written pattern. It's a long pattern because she includes a lot of detail. The designer, I don't have it printed because it's on my tablet, is, I don't know. I'll put the information down below. It's not available yet because we had until the end of August to test knit it, and so I don't think she's planning on releasing it at least till after then. So we'll see. I can give more information later, but kind of cool. Love the colors. These were my hand-dyed yarns. I talked about it last time. So that's like the hat, and that has been the only knitting, and now I just want to spin. So there's that. In the past couple episodes, I've talked about this yarn that I had left over from when I made a sweater. This is my own hand-dyed yarn. Does not have a name. It is 99 grams, so it's just shy of a full skein, but you can still use it for something. It's fingering weight yarn, 80/20. I'm going to do a giveaway, domestic only, please. Just because of the cost of shipping it international, it's just not worth it for me to do that. So I don't have any special prompts. I will open a thread for the giveaway. If you want this yarn, it's a really pretty coral color with hints of orange and pink and stuff in it. Just leave a comment that you'd like it, or I don't know, say something. Tell me what your favorite color is. I don't care. It's just something. And then I will ship this out to you. So I will have that open until August 23rd. It's 2 weeks on a Friday. And then I'll close the thread, pick a number. If I'm not ready to record quite yet, then I will just notify you through Ravelry that you're the winner. And that's what I did last time because I wasn't quite ready to record. So if you want this skeiny yarn, fingering weight yarn, let me know in the comment section, or no, in the Ravelry thread, and it's yours. So that's it. That's all I got going. What time is it? Okay, I've got like a couple more hours. I think I'm gonna try and start cleaning this place out. And then I might record in here even if it's a mess or halfway painted or whatever. So that's it for now. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope this wasn't too rambly. And yeah, stay tuned next time to see what else is going on. Thanks for coming. Bye.